Hello, this is Photography Gamer, welcome back to the channel. Today I am reviewing UFC 3 on the PlayStation 4. UFC 3 is a mixed martial arts game developed by EA Canada. The game is based on the Ultimate Fighting Championship sporting franchise. If you've never watched the UFC or don't know what MMA is, basically it's a combat sport set in an octagon where combatants from various different martial arts compete against each other. It's a very brutal sport, but also a very intense and very exciting one to watch. UFC 3 has a variety of game modes. You've got exhibition where you can fight different weight classes against each other. You've got a career mode which is very in-depth. Stand and bang, which cuts away all of the submissions and wrestling. You just stand there and slap each other until one's gone. You've got UFC Ultimate Team, which is like the FIFA version, so it's very much there to get you to pay for microtransactions. They've got a character creation system. You can fight online against other people, which is fun, and you've also got custom pay-per-view events. The game has an extensive fighter roster across all of the different weight classes. The game also includes a wide variety of legends like Royce Gracie, Tito Ortiz and Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping, just to name a few, but there are lots and lots of legends in this. You can also unlock Bruce Lee if you buy him via the DLC, or if you wait, you'll unlock him via the free career mode. If you complete career mode, the weight class you finish it in, Bruce Lee will be unlocked, so maybe not worth buying Bruce Lee. The fighter likenesses and their fighting styles are really accurate, and the motion capture for each fighter, if you watch the sport, it really looks uncanny how realistic it is. So the gameplay in this game is really immersive. It really feels like a real fight. You have to kind of be very careful, especially when you're on the harder difficulties. You've got to it's all about distance and timing and kind of counter punching, etc. For me, I found most of my time was spent in the career mode, which is possibly one of the best career modes in any sports game I've ever had. What it does, it creates a really nice balance between training, social media duties, publicity duties, and then also the fights. Like in the old Fight Night games, it just seemed like you were fighting, and there was nothing in between, so it kind of all happened very quickly. In this one, you have to rise the ranks from the bottom of the pile. You don't start in the UFC, you start in a very sort of small organisation. You've got to win 2 or 3 fights, then you get a UFC promotion, like you get a contract. And these contracts have like a 3 or 5 fight cycle, and at the end of it you have a kind of a big fight. If you win that, you go up to the next ranking. So you can get dropped, you have rivals, it can be quite hard, but you can join different gyms to learn moves, to spar, to train, do social media events. It has a real realistic feel to it. It's a very good career mode, I really enjoyed it. And if you don't want to be Conor McGregor or Khabib or Tony Ferguson or John Jones, you can create your own fighter and do a career with them. EA does have a face importer on their website. It's a little bit hit and miss, like sometimes I've imported faces and they look great. You still have to manipulate the eyes, nose and mouth and the positions. You'll never get it exactly right, but it's quite detailed, and you can, if you've got a good photo to base it on that's got a nice neutral lighting, you can do it. But yeah, you can choose what weight class, how tall you are, weight, etc. You can sculpt the face, you can also choose the movesets, but probably the most detailed part of the character creator is the tattoos. It really lets you go crazy on tattoos. But they've got quite a variety of tattoos, and you can put them together, merge them together to create your own sort of unique design. So that's a really good touch, really helps you create your own kind of identity. So graphics. The fighter animations are smooth and seamless. If you didn't know this was a game and you had a fleeting look at the television, you might think it was a real UFC fight. The TV presentation is superb, and they have captured the essence of what a UFC card feels like in terms of both the presentation and the ambience. The arenas all look good, and the game on the whole, it's really visually very, very impressive. And also the facial damage you get during fights, the blood and the kind of the gore of it really feels real, and it's kind of quite horrific. If you go into a long 5-round fight and it's a slugfest, people do look a real mess by the end of it, but that really adds to the kind of impact and the realism. So the sound. The fight sound effects are great, and you really feel the impact when you catch another fighter with a big strike. The fight commentary is excellent, and it features Joe Rogan and John Anik. They've done a really great job, and it never sounds too similar as the fights are unfolding. The crowd reactions are excellent and it really feels realistic as the fight unfolds and gets towards the kind of climax. And finally, the menu music is also really good. You know, got a lot of hip hop orientated stuff. It also has a lot of walkout music you can choose from. There's a huge array of stuff, which is quite good, so you can find a piece of music that will suit your own custom character. Okay, so what's good and what's bad about UFC 3? What's good? The presentation and commentary are picture perfect. The character animations are excellent and the game on the whole looks very realistic. The fights are intense and the knockouts feel amazing. There are a wide variety of moves and the controls once mastered are really good. The career mode is amazing and balances fighting, training and social media duties perfectly. It's a fantastic two-player game and the fights against other players can be as good as a real fight to watch. And also the character creator is pretty good. Not perfect, but it's good enough. What's bad? The ground game and clinches can be confusing at first for a noob, but after some experience it's not that bad. The submission controls in particular when defending are a little confusing, but again, once you've played it for a few weeks and you kind of get used to the actual kind of what does what, you'll be fine. The only other bad point is you can't add any of your created fighters to the career mode as opponents. You can enter it as one of your created fighters, but the people you've made up in the exhibition menu, they never actually enter the career mode. That would have been nice because you could like make up Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali or, you know, anybody, stuck them in the career mode and you would have ended up having epic fights against them. It's not a massive thing, it would have been a nice touch. Okay, so what is the verdict? UFC 3 is an accurate representation of mixed martial arts. It's got a brutality and a kind of energy to it that really feels like the real sport. Every fight's different, never gets boring. Really good game. So my score for UFC 3 is 9 out of 10. It's a fantastic representation of the UFC and mixed martial arts. The game really captures the brutality and the skill required to rise through the ranks to be the champ. Overall, it's one of the best combat games I've ever played, and one of the best sports games I've ever played. If you like the UFC, you should own this game. If you like combat games, you should own this game. If you like any kind of fighting games, you'll love this. And also sport fans who like career modes. This is great. It's a really good game. Can't recommend it enough. Okay, we're done. That was the review. I hope it was useful. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. This is Photography Gamer signing off. Thank you.
Amazing. He hurt him with that hook. Big shots. Oh! He's out. Beautiful knockout for the KO victory as the round